good news. If you want to make a film, you don't need to keep waiting around for that perfect idea, because the idea for a film is actually much, much less important than the execution of the idea. And in this video, I'm going to prove it to you and show you why. All right, let's take a quick look at the IMDb top 250 movies and see how strong the ideas for the films really are. The Shawshank Redemption. What's the idea? A man who was wrongfully imprisoned finally breaks out of prison. The Godfather. A mob family in the 40s passes leadership down to the boss's son. The Dark Knight. Batman must save Gotham from Joker and Two-Face. 12 Angry Men. A jury deliberates a murder case. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Three gunslingers vie for a buried treasure. Fight Club. A crazy guy starts a secret club for fighting. Do you notice anything about these ideas? They don't sound that great on paper. Do you know why? Because they really aren't. And those are supposed to be the most loved movies on IMDb. The truth is, no matter what you come up with, story ideas are a dime a dozen, and for all intents and purposes, they have all been done in one form or another. In fact, some would argue that there are only 7 story plots that have ever been told. So if there's nothing new under the sun, then why do some movies resonate with an audience while others don't? Because of how a basic idea is executed. That is where the magic of filmmaking and storytelling in general lives. So let's go over some of those movies again. Shawshank. We tell the man's story from his friend's perspective, not his. He handles imprisonment with surprising grace, and we come to see that he was imprisoned before Shawshank, and being trapped in Shawshank taught him how to be truly free and redeem himself. Every supporting character is fully unique and alive with the interesting stories of their own. It's a period piece spanning decades. Morgan Freeman narrates the story in a time before Morgan Freeman was narrating everything. So yes, it's a movie about a guy breaking out of prison, but it was executed in a very thoughtful, unique way. Go with The Godfather. I don't know where to start. Incredible cinematography. Characters just draped in shadow. You got fresh-faced young Al Pacino, who's paired up with the legendary Marlon Brando. You've got the intertwining of business and family in every aspect of the film. You got love and violence going hand in hand with that theme. Just incredibly well-executed film. Let's take The Dark Knight. How many Batman movies have we seen at this point? But what if it's executed in a much grittier, darker way than we've ever seen Batman before? What if the Joker is portrayed as this anarchist, really disturbing vision of what the Joker could be? What if it starts with a great bank heist, but it subverts your expectations at every turn while displaying how ruthless and brilliant the Joker really is? What if the Batman's character arc from hero to villain in the public eye is mimicked by Harvey Dent as he turns into Two-Face? What if Two-Face is not a cartoonish Two-Face, but a real disfigured Two-Face from all the burns that he suffered? How about these giant practical stunts over CGI? How about a pounding Hans Zimmer score? These are the kinds of choices within the idea of the film that make them standout films. This is the execution. So how do you, the budding filmmaker, execute your idea well too? Well, a lot of good execution just comes down to hard work and preparation. And the rest of it comes down to things like perspective, experience, and taste. And this should actually be very encouraging to hear for a beginner filmmaker. Because guess what? All of that will come naturally over time as you keep making more movies and just growing as a person. So as you progress as a filmmaker, you'll be able to take the most simple idea or plot and elevate it into an excellent film. I mean, look at the movie Drive. It's the most simple plot ever. It's been done 100 times before. Oh, a getaway driver who falls in love. But it wasn't the idea of the film that made it work so well. It was the director's ability to combine a unique perspective on these kinds of stories with his own experience and taste. Then he just worked his ass off. He actually moved into a house with the writer and cast, drove around to LA at night together, studied other movies, eventually made the edit suite part of his house until he'd figured out his execution of Drive and taken the simple idea of a getaway driver who falls in love and turned it into one of the best movies of 2011. So the reason I'm telling you this and making this video is so many filmmakers, myself included, get hung up on not having a good enough idea for a movie, and that becomes their excuse to never make anything. But the truth is, you probably have tons of great ideas because one movie idea isn't necessarily any better than another. And instead of worrying about which idea to choose, you should be focusing your time and energy on how you could put your own unique stink on one of your many ideas and make the execution amazing. For example, me and my writing partner have wanted to make a low-budget horror film for years, but we've always dismissed the idea of doing some cheap one-location scary film in a cabin out in the woods. We just said it's been done way too many times, and that's true, so we kept waiting around for a better idea. But the truth is, it's never been done the way we would have done it, which means not been done at all. which means it's not a bad idea at all. A few years ago, I was writing what I thought was going to be my opus. It was a movie that I knew would be almost impossible to actually get made, but I was incredibly confident that it would be the best movie I ever could make and just a once-in-a-lifetime idea. And one of my neighbors was a beginner filmmaker, and I mentioned the idea for the movie to him. It was about cavemen, and I went on for a while about how nobody makes caveman movies. And a couple months later, I heard he was going off to make a short film about cavemen.
I don't have much of an appetite, thank you.
I just flipped out. I went from rage to panic. Oh my God, my once-in-a-lifetime idea is gone. To finally, I just started laughing at the guy because I came to the realization that the idea for my movie wasn't what made it great. It was all in the execution. He could steal the idea, but he couldn't steal all of the intangibles I was bringing to it, the choices I was going to make along the way of developing it, which were the only things that really mattered and made the story good. So the point of the story is, don't worry about people stealing your idea. The ideas honestly don't matter. It's all about the decisions you make along the way of bringing that idea to life. That is the execution. And also, don't wait around to start making a movie. You don't need a perfect idea to hit you like a lightning bolt. You can start developing an amazing movie right now, today, by changing your focus from what's an amazing idea to what's an amazing way I could execute this idea I already have. Thanks for watching.